888-4748 is the number to call. Joining us now, again, we're up on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, Make It Plain, or MIP. Joining us now, the DNC CEO, Jess O'Connell, is here on the line with us. Madam CEO, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning, Mark. How you doing?
I'm just fine. You laughed. Did I say that properly? Is it Madam CEO? That's the way to say it, right?
Well, I like how you say it. I like it. It's got a nice ring. But today, this is not about titles. Today, it's about voting. That's all we're focused on.
How we're looking today in terms of turnout and in terms of GOTV around the country, Jess?
Yeah, we're looking good. We've in Virginia, which is, of course, one of the states that everybody's most focused on because it's probably going to be one of the closest, tightest races today. We've already had a record number of Virginians who voted early, which is a really good sign for turnout. That said, we've had polls open at 6 a.m. They'll close at 7 p.m. in Virginia, and I'm looking out my window now, and it's cloudy, no rain, so easy to get out there and vote still, not a problem. Make sure that you get out there, and I'll mention, too, if folks aren't sure where to do that yet, iwillvote.com. iwillvote.com will tell you where you need to vote, and not just in Virginia, but New Jersey. If you're in Washington State, we've got a bunch of mayor's races all over the country, so that'll help figure out where to route you today to make sure you get there before the polls close. But we're looking good, but we take nothing for granted. This is a really important moment, and we're just encouraging everybody to get out there and make their voices heard because they've been doing it since the election of 2016, but now it really counts today.
Yeah, this is really where the rubber hits the road.
That's right.
Do you feel that there is a lot of enthusiasm out there?
I do. I mean, we've been out in Virginia, and the chairman Perez and Keith Ellison and everybody been out there marching, knocking doors, making calls. We emptied out the whole DNC. We've got over 100 people in Virginia, and the energy is palpable. I mean, there are groups that are united. We have obviously our state party and all of the Democrats that are out there, but we've got all these new groups that formed after the election. Linda, I was just listening to Linda talking before I came on, and all these groups that formed after the election, Invisible, Swing Left, they're out there too. I mean, the energy is there. We have more Democrats running in Virginia than ever before. So look, they're not all gonna win, but we're making up some good ground, and the important thing is we are having conversations in every zip code, and that's something, that's a lesson coming out of 2016. We ought to be leaving no one behind. We got to start having conversations with everybody in this country, and so I'm glad everybody's out there working so hard. We finished through tonight, and I hope we come out with a new governor in Ralph Northam and a new lieutenant governor in Justin Fairfax and Democrats up and down the ticket.
Virginia, I think, is obviously the race that people are watching most closely. Jess, let me ask you this, and I have to ask you as CEO of the DNC, the revelations from our friend Donna Brazil's book, does that timing harm us at all, do you think?
Look, I've known Donna a long time. I have tremendous respect for Donna and the work that she's done for Democrats all over the country over the years. And and Donna knows this, I respectfully disagree with the timing of her book. I think she has every right to tell her story. I will say this, though. We've been out in Virginia over this past week. No one's talking about it. This is not something that people are talking about outside of the Beltway. This is not something that's keeping people up at night. What's keeping people up at night is making sure our country's safe, figuring out how we stop the hate and division that's going on. They want to talk about jobs. They want to talk about opportunity for themselves and their families. They want to talk about health care. They want to talk about this, tax plan that the Republicans are putting forward that could raise income taxes on middle-income families and get to the expense of giving, corporations and millionaires a tax break. I mean, this is what people are focused on in their own communities, and that's what we're hearing in Virginia.
Yeah, and no, that you're absolutely right, folks. We got to get out and vote today in Virginia. Very, very important. I know you just mentioned hearing Linda. I was at the Women's Convention. Yes, I was a dude at the Women's Convention, y'all, as you know.
Good for you.
And, of course, Emily's List was a big, big part of that, Jess, where you hail from, a former executive director. How important is it that women get out and vote today, and how important is it that men who are allies of women get out and vote today?
Well, it's incredibly important. I mean, I think we've seen since the election in 2016 in November that women are really leading their resistance. They're leading this movement. And it started with the Women's March and the work that Linda and all of her colleagues did. It was incredibly impressive, bringing out millions, not just of women, but like you said, men all over the country to march. And I think it carried through in the healthcare fight. I think you saw women and men lock arms across the country and make sure that we protect health care for 30 million Americans. And now we have an opportunity to take it a step further, which is we have women running all over the country. You mentioned Emily's list where I came from. We talked to about 1,000 women last cycle that wanted to run for office. I believe this year they're overrun. They've got 20,000 women who are interested in running for office. And that's not just Emily's list. Emerge America and Higher Heights, which works to elect African American women to office all over the country. These groups are being overrun, which, frankly, I'm glad to see, because I think that it's long overdue that we bring diverse perspectives into our leadership bodies, and we know what a difference that can make when we do. I'm going to be on today with Ms. Maxine Waters on Democrats Live, and I know what a difference she's making.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna be on today, telling everyone to get out the vote, and we see what a difference she makes, and we know that if we elect some of these women, it's going to make a big difference in our lives too.
But we want people to know that. I want to see that myself. What time do you all go on Democrats Live? What time?
That's going to be at 11 a.m. Eastern on Democrats Live with Congressman Ellison and Maxine Waters. We're going to be talking about getting out the vote.
Good. No, that's very important. Folks, do get out to vote. It is absolutely critical and important today. It's also important, too, for at the ballot box, and we show resistance in the streets when we're not in electoral mode. But when we're in an electoral mode, part of the resistance is the ballot box. And we need to send a message, I think, to this White House and this Congress that we are resisting some of the things they're doing, particularly Donald Trump, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, I think, in Virginia, you have Ed Gillespie, who's been endorsed by Steve Bannon. He's running ads against Ralph Northam that are straight out of a Trump playbook. They're divisive, they're confusing, they're hateful. This is going to be more of the same should Ed Gillespie win. And so I couldn't agree with you more, Mark, that we got to send a message. We got to use our voices, and the ballot box is the very best place to do that. And, we've got polls open till 7 p.m. in Virginia. We've got big election up in New Jersey, where not only do we have a chance to win the gubernatorial race there with Phil Murphy, but we're going to elect Sheila Oliver, Lieutenant Governor, African-American woman Lieutenant Governor up there. We got a couple seats that we can flip. Out in Washington State, we can elect Manka Dhingra. She is running for the state Senate there. If she wins, we're going to turn that Senate blue again. So we have tremendous opportunity all over the country right now, and this is the moment, like you said, to use your voice, go to the ballot box, and show people the change that we want to be. This is actually going to impact it. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. Folks, we're doing our due diligence, literally, just so you give you all a visual. I'm in Sirius XM World Headquarters here in Rockefeller Center, New York. We have the CEO of the DNC on. We encourage you to get out and vote Democratic. Literally down the hall from me, maybe just a little over 200 feet, Steve Bannon is here in this same building down the hall on Breitbart Radio, and they're encouraging their voters to get out. So we all have to do our jobs. They're doing theirs. We have to do ours. He's pushing. We cannot go to sleep on this. No more of this taking for. Everybody thought Hillary was going to win, so some people thought they didn't need to vote. If 80,000 more had voted in 3 states, we'd be having a different conversation. Take nothing for granted. Every soul to the polls. Right, Jess?
Every soul to the polls. I'm with you. We're working on it. The DNC did over 1.5 million texts to get out the vote just in this past week.
Wow.
We're making sure people know that this is the day.
Wonderful. Jess O'Connell, such a pleasure to have you on. Let's talk again real soon, okay? Good luck today. We're going to claim the victory, okay?
All right. Thanks, Mark.
And we're here for you. Take care now. All right.
Bye-bye.